Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Today I'll walk you through the bass tone for the new single Force Fed by Blind Witness. Alright, so the bass we used was the Sterling by Music Man Ray 34. It's got this very big active bridge pickup, which gives the bass a really fat low end and a really bright and crisp mid-range. It's one of my favorite bass to record for sure. Tracked it through my Vintech Audio 273 preamp and then reamped it through my Sansamp RBI for the main tone. So now let's check out the session. I'll open it up and show you guys exactly what I did tone-wise. Okay, so I have the session open. I'll play you guys the mix so you can hear the bass in context, and then I'll play it in solo. Alright, in solo. Alright, so as you can hear, the bass has got that really deep and fat low end coming from the Sansamp, and then that really distorted and aggressive mid-range coming from the DI, which I distorted using a plugin called Parallax. A really amazing plugin, really unique. With this one you can compress your low end independently and then distort your mid and high frequencies with different types of distortion. And then you've got an EQ here to really craft the sound afterwards. So with this one, all I did was load up the plugin, use the default setting, and then tweak the settings as I wanted. Used a lot of compression on the low end, and then distorted the mids and highs kind of equally. And then used the equalizer here to really kind of dip the low mids, dip the mids. Boosted a lot of high mids around 1 and 1.5K, and kind of kept the high end intact there. So let's see how this one sounds. Alright, so by itself kind of sounds a little weak, a little weird, almost. A lot of high end, really aggressive. The low end is really compressed, really tight, but it really blends well with the Sansamp track that I have here. I can let you guys hear just the Sansamp on its own. Sansamp is not as compressed. Obviously, the low end is a lot fatter. The mid-range is cleaner. It's got a lot of pick definition, which I really like, but not as much aggression as the mid track, the distortion track that we have. Doesn't have a lot of processing on it. Just a little dip at around 350. Because I don't really like that frequency on bass usually. It kind of sounds boxy. And then a little dip here at almost 4K. This is just an annoying frequency probably that I heard while I was mixing. Sometimes these kind of frequencies you don't really hear them while I'm mixing the bass in solo, but sometimes they just bug you while you're mixing the whole song, and it's probably what happened, so I just cut it in the bass. I can let you guys hear what this frequency sounds like. It's just garbage. It's just a lot of it's super annoying. But that's all I did EQ wise for this one. And then I used the Pro MB here to compress the low end, but then bring it back. So what's cool with this one is that you can compress just that low end. Same type of deal as with the Parallax plugin, not affecting the low mids, the mids and all that, just the low end here. And what I did was kind of compress it a little bit, but then bringing that back up so the low end is pretty consistent, stays at the same level, but never goes away. So I'll show you guys what this plugin does. So it's kind of always compressing it, but kind of keeping it at the same level. So I didn't want to boost the low end per se, but I just wanted to keep it in place. So that's all I did with these two tracks. I then bussed these two tracks to one so I can process them together. I did a little bit more of EQ, so a roll off around 40 Hertz here. Then a little dip at around 850. Another one at around 2K, another one around 3K. So I can, you know, play you guys the bass with and without the plugin. So you see, like, the plugin just, you know, cleans it up a little bit, then gets rid of like the low end frequencies that you don't really want in that kind of mix anyways. Followed by, you know, a really drastic EQ there. Decided to cut a lot of the mid-range. I don't know, that's just the moves that you do while you're mixing. This EQ wasn't probably on when I crafted the tone, but you know, you add bends as you mix the songs, and sometimes these frequencies fight with your guitars or with your drums and your vocals. Decided to boost a little bit more of these high mids so the bass can poke through a little bit more, and then cut the highs because I don't want the, you know, the highs from the bass to interfere with the cymbals and the vocals. So I can let you guys hear with and without. So with. Without. You see, like, it doesn't really sound better, it just sounds different. But in the context of the mix, this EQ really did the trick. So the last plugin on the chain is Waves MV2. It's a really neat compressor, really transparent, kind of, you know, brings the lower peaks up and the higher peaks down in a really pleasing way. Super transparent, as I said. So I'll play you guys the bass with and without. So with. So besides the obvious volume boost, if you listen closely, you'll hear that, you know, the bass gets a lot more consistent, but the plugin doesn't affect the tone at all. So that's what I really like about this one. You know, it doesn't add distortion. It just makes it sit a lot better and puts the bass more in your face, kind of. So that's all I did for bass in this mix. You know, when the bass is tracked well and you have a good DI, there's not a lot you have to do in the mix to make it sit. I hope you guys liked the video. I would love to do more, so if you guys want me to cover anything else, just let me know in the comments section and I'll make sure to do some more videos. Thanks, guys.